Oop finds out that his stepmom was dad's AP and her daughters are his half-siblings. #AP affair partner. I'm not the Oop. This was posted by you, stepmom and dad in our True Off My Chest original. The 3rd of November 22. My stepmom was my dad's AP. My stepmom was my dad's AP. This is my first time using Reddit and English is not my first language. When I, 22M, was for my dad, 42M, divorced my mom. About a year later he introduced me to my stepmom, 42F. She had 2 twin girls, N and D 22F. They married only a few months and went on to have 3 more kids. G, 16M, L, 10M, and S, 4F. My father adopted N and D because their bio father was not involved. I've always considered all 5 of them, N, D, G, L and S, my siblings, and we've never used step or half to refer to each other. When I was 6, shortly after G's birth, my mom passed away in a car accident, and because of it I started to live with my dad full-time. My relationship with my stepmom improved from there. She never adopted me, however she, along with my dad, kept my mom's memory alive by keeping in touch with my maternal grandparents and other relatives, and visiting her grave with me on special days. I started calling her mom when I was around 7 or 8, and she refers to me as her eldest child. Me and the twins are the same age, but I was born first. After I turned 18 I started to work, but I continued to live with my parents. Last week I was in the attic when I found a photo album that I have never seen before. I opened it and I saw several pictures of my dad, my stepmom and the twins when they were babies, which made no sense to me because, like I said, we were toddlers when our parents met. I decided to confront my parents about it. They were sit alone in the kitchen and asked them how they met. They told the same story, that soon after my dad's divorce he met my stepmom through a mutual friend. When they were done I placed one of the pictures on the table and told them that I wanted the truth. I could tell by my dad's face he understood what I meant. My dad told me that his marriage with my mom was going through a hard time because of my mom's infertility issues. One day he met my stepmom and things escalated quickly, and when he was ready to leave my mom she found it out that she was pregnant, but so did my stepmom at the same time. He lied to my mom several times so that he could spend time with my stepmom and the twins. One day he admitted to my mom that he was having an affair and they got divorced. I looked at my stepmom and she was in tears. They both tried to say sorry, but I just couldn't stay in that house any longer. I'm currently staying at my GF's parents' house. I have talked to G, L and S. It pained me a lot, and G has said that S has cried for me, and that just breaks my heart. I have refused to talk with my parents or to N and D. The 3 of them lied to me. I feel like my life was built on lies and I am lost. I do not know what to do. I still love my sisters and my parents, but they, especially my parents, have hurted me so much. Edit. Fixed typos. Edit. Fixed typos. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their input on my situation. I have come to the conclusion that I should talk with N and D. I will send them a message so that we can meet in person and talk about it. I will also try to meet my younger siblings because I have not seen them since last week. Just talked to them over the phone, and I missed them. About my parents I do not know what I will do. I need to talk to them so that I can get at least some closure, but I don't know if I will be able to do it. Thank you everyone. Update 1. The 5th of November 22. My sisters knew about our father's affair with their mother. Read my last post so you can understand. Before anything I would like to thank everyone who commented on my last post. I have seen common questions being asked, I'll reply to them. Did your mom really have fertility issues? Yes. Her family has told me many times she got really affected by it and that my birth was a got her over the moon. Did the twins knew? I did not knew if they knew that I talked to them. Now on to the update. After I made my post, I made a group chat with the twins and texted them, and we decided to meet. My GF wanted to come with me, but I told her I would rather go alone. When I arrived, they were already there. They started to try to make small talk. I just asked them if they knew. They started to tear up and told me that they always knew my dad, but only knew that they were his daughters when they were 16 because our parents told them. They initially wanted to tell me, but my dad and stepmom pressed them not to, saying that if they told me it would destroy our family. I asked how were things at home. They told me that G and L started to be rude to them and to our parents while S was asking about me. They asked me if I could forgive them. I told them that I still love them, but I just need time. They told me they understood. I said I was sorry and that I shouldn't blame them for our dad's mistakes. They told me they should have told me earlier. We hugged and cried together. We said our goodbyes and then I went home. My GF asked me how I was and I just broke down. She held me tight and told me to not hold on and that she was there for me. Words cannot describe how much I love this woman. She has been my rock throughout all of this. I talked with my younger siblings this morning and we met at park. I hugged them really tight, especially S. I'm super attached to her and I am really protective of her. I tried to explain to her, in a total friendly way, that I was mad at our parents because they did a bad thing, and not at her. She asked if I was ever going back home. I told her I didn't know, but I still loved her. I talked to my brothers to see how they were holding on. G and L told me they had been having a hard time because they never thought our parents could do something so horrible. They told me they missed me but understood why I had to leave. We spent the morning together and after lunch they went back home. I haven't talked to my parents yet and I plan to call my maternal grandparents tonight to see if they knew or not. Thank everyone for their support. You guys have helped me a lot. Update 2. The 6th of November 22. I talked with my grandparents about my father's affair. TLDR about my last 2 posts. My dad cheated on my mom with my stepmom. My twin stepsisters whom my father adopted are actually his bio daughters. Yesterday I went to visit my maternal grandparents. First we made the usual small talk and then I told them I needed to tell them something serious. I laid it all out. The affair, the twins' fraternity, everything. To say my grandparents were shocked would be an understatement. My grandma started to cry her heart out, asking herself how could my dad hurt my baby girl like that. My granddad was more angry. He called my dad and stepmom everything he could think of. My grandparents always tough that my parents had divorced because they didn't just worked out and because they were young, and despite not being their son-in-law anymore they maintained a great relationship with my dad. After my grandma calmed down she asked me how I was doing. I told her that it's been hard but I am doing better now. She said she still couldn't believe my dad would do something so horrible to my mom. My grandpa said if my dad is lucky they would never laid eyes on each other because my grandpa would do something that would put him in jail. If you understand me. We spent the rest of the day catching up and talking about my mom. Overall it was very intense, but opening up to people who loved my mother like I did helped me a bit. Thanks for reading. Reminder, I'm not the oop. The twins grew up 16 years thinking their bio dad wanted nothing to do with them. I always wonder about parents who believe they can keep secrets like this nowadays and expect their children to never discover it. And then they frame it like the circumstance would ruin the family as a way to guilt others with manipulation, the sole intention to remove themselves as being at fault for making the choices they made that got themselves into those circumstances in the first place by putting the blame for the consequences on others if the secret gets out. Dang, the parents put the poor half-bio twin sisters in the middle. My wife is having trouble getting pregnant, well, better cheat on her. Fucking pig. Why did they tell the twins at all? The only reason I can think of is that the guilt was eating up the parents. Which is a lousy reason to disclose something like this. The guilt makes me feel so terrible. Let us tell you the truth while you're minors and can't just leave. And your continued presence will imply that your mom and I aren't bad people. Not even telling the grandparents. Letting your ex-in-laws seeing you as the good guy who adopted his new wife's kids and made sure your grandkid remembered his mom-nauseated face. Heartbreaking. But Op seems to have a really good head on their shoulders, and it's beautiful that the siblings all have such a good relationship. I don't know if the situation with the parents will improve. My instincts say they will. But at least this hasn't hurt the relationship with among the siblings. This is beyond disguising. What terrible, terrible people are the dad and stepmom. I don't know. Man. I don't know if I can ever forgive this. Not only they hurt Oop, they hurt the twins with this. I wouldn't be surprised if dad and stepmom lose the relationship between them and most of their kids. So they raised the twins until 16 to believe they had a father out there that didn't want anything to do with them and had abandoned them just to go, LMAO, just kidding. I feel for Op's pain. But OMG, those twins are going to need so much therapy. His dad went and had an affair because OP's mom was struggling with infertility. They were 20. He didn't even give it time. Oop has some other posts about his own life going forward with his GF. Only mentioned his family stuff in passing. That the GF had made copies of his pictures of his real mom with help from his siblings. I hope he's doing good. I think it would help him to find a therapist to talk to. This is an awful situation they put him in. He did nothing wrong, and even if they end up being civil to each other, I doubt he'll ever be able to trust his dad or stepmom again. I wonder whatever happened to the real mom's pregnancy. But thinking on it, the answer would just hurt. Edit. Never mind. Reading comprehension is hard. All 5 of them. N, D, G, L and S. I'm begging people to stop with the letters time. Make your damn posts readable. I know Oop never outright says it, but there has to be a part of them who wonders about the what-ifs, like, if my father didn't cheat and leave my mother, maybe she wouldn't have died in that car accident. I'm glad they have their siblings and grandparents for support. This kind of thing shakes your world in ways you don't realize. Such a betrayal. And they let Oop call SM mom, knowing what they did to Oop's mom. They're not seeing heaven. What is with all of the people in those comments insinuating that his mother was murdered or killed herself? That is maybe the most toxic thing I've ever seen on AITA or True Off Mount Chest. This story isn't juicy enough. So let's invent a hunch more. This is why they get so many troll posts. What a betrayal of trust. Not sure Oop will be able to forgive father and stepmom. It would have been so much better if they had told him. With DNA testing, it would have come out eventually. Really messed up of OOP's dad and AP to essentially be messing with their head all these years. Every interaction and bond of love he thought he had with them will be questioned. There's also the questions of, what if there had been no affair? Would my mom still be alive? I really hope Oop will go to therapy. They need proper support. I'm also a little devastated for the maternal grandparents that were hoodwinked all these years. Maybe in too emotional, but I'd go and see with the former parents, and I'm not sure I'd be able to speak with the writer again as well. They didn't choose this, but they knew and are a symbol of the affair. Oof. That's painful. Glad it seems the affair is getting the correct amount of moral outrage by all. Too often you see people trying to sweep bad behavior under the rug, for the peace of the family. I know the other two were initially pressured to keep quiet by their parents when they were 16. But I'm glad they didn't double down and are now there for Oop. All the siblings should stick together. What a mess. I can't even imagine how Oop feels. He even started calling his stepmother Mom. I hope he doesn't feel like he replaced his mother with the person who destroyed his family and took her place in his dad's life. They just didn't want to face the consequences of their actions, and now he is suffering for it. Oop's dad better avoid grandpa or he's a dead man. Also, if I was Oop, I'd be even more pisser that my stepmom let me call her mom and acted like I was her kid after she completely disrespected my actual mother.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicuricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.